Today is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, and it finally happened. The gigantic red day I've been able to avoid thus far has now landed. I've had a few pretty good red days mixed in here and there, but nothing even close to today. Today I am down $348 on the day, which is almost 13%. Totally shit the bed today. I went 0 for 3 on my trades this morning. All of it was pre-market. My first trade, I could have gotten out with about 15 or 20 cent of profit. Instead, I held too long, and then I just kept holding until it was a loser. Lost about 95 bucks first trade. Second trade is where I just completely lost track of what was going on in the world. I've never seen anything like it that I've been involved in, at least. I lost 245 bucks just on that second trade. That was like a 9% loss in one move. I got busted there. My third trade, I only lost 1 cent, and actually, when I first clicked sell, it would have been about a $30 winner, but I didn't fill any of my sell order, and then I had to cancel that order and replace a new sell order. By the time I got that done, I was down about 1 cent. So that was basically a break-even trade. I almost went 1 for 3, but didn't. Went over 3 on the day and just completely annihilated any sort of hope of not ruining this week. It is what it is. I'll show you the trades, but pretty humbling. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm still in a little bit of shock right now, but I think that maybe next week what I'm going to do is instead of doing a third size and doing 3 moves, I think maybe I'll do cut that volume in half and do 3 or 4 moves, and really focus on taking that clean profit. Each one of these trades I could have gotten out with profit, and I didn't. I don't know why I'm having this problem now. I've been so good at making entries. Today my entries were shit, and I didn't take profit when I had the opportunity. And I've been doing that all week. I don't know what's gotten into my brain that's making me hold these trades where any other day of my life I would have taken profit, and now I'm holding them until they're just bazonkers for a loser. I don't know. I've got to get back in the habit of getting green and getting out. This fear of missing out on a huge swing instead of taking a base hit 3 or 4 times in a row, that's how I've gotten comfortable, and that's how I've gone green on the days that I've gone green, taking the nice base hit on 2 or 3 of my 3 or 4 trades in a day. That's all it takes. And even when I don't get a great entry, I'm still getting in good enough that I can take a nice base hit of profit. And I'm just totally annihilating that chance by just holding until it's become such a bad loser that I have no other choice. What a humbling day. I really hope I can get out of that funk and find some traction and maybe make up some of this ground and clean up part of this mess. I don't know. It's a pretty big hole to dig out of at this point. So we'll see how next week goes. I guess lucky for me, Friday is July 4th and the markets are closed, so that'll give me a little day to recoup extra and maybe come into next week a little fresher and a little, a little better mindset. I don't know. We'll see. This is my first trade of the morning on Wednesday, July 3rd. Ticker GITS, 15-second chart. We had a huge squeeze right here at the pre-market open. Went from around 250 all the way up to 720. Where I made my entry was right here. Boom. Once this little dip broke the previous high of this main body on this candle, I got in right around 680, thinking we were going to squeeze up to 720, maybe 750, the way these had been roaring to the moon here. What happened is I got in at 680. We squeezed up to around 715. Didn't take that profit. Let it settle back down. This kind of break-even trade, it ended up kind of flirting around the $7 mark there for a second on the top of that candle, and then it just completely shit the bed on me. By the time I held through this red doji candle thinking maybe we're going to get a rebound and another retest of the $7 mark. Of course, that didn't happen, and it just went down another 50 cents. So I ended up losing about 70 cents a share on this trade. I could have taken 20 or 30 cents worth of profit here within these first two candles of being in, but I didn't, and it ended up costing me pretty good. This is my second trade of the morning on Thursday. Ticker CV, 15-second chart. This is the worst trade I've ever made, the biggest loss I've ever made. Hopefully this one goes down in history for a while and I don't have to reset this record. This chart started squeezing just a minute or two after another chart squeezed from around $4 or $5 all the way up to like $24, and then kind of settled in around 15. I didn't get any moves on that other chart, and then this one came on, and boy did FOMO kick in here. This squeezed from around the $4 mark all the way up to 12 bucks in just a few candles, and then it did pretty much a full reversal here. I made my entry. Really poor decision here. We had a huge reversal candle and then a little bit of a kickback here. I made my entry on this green candle thinking that we were going to retest this $11 or $12 range over here. It didn't happen at all. I got in near the top of this candle in the 940s. This candle topped off at like 975, and it just went south from there. It happened in a matter of 2 or 3 candles here on a 15-second chart, so we're talking less than a minute, and it was already down to in flirting with $6 here. By the time I made my exit, I got out with $2.73 worth of loss on this. A gigantic red trade. Just look at that entry. What was I thinking? I mean, I had nowhere to go but down from there. No one to blame but myself on this one. Just a extremely poor decision, and this was pure FOMO kicking in, thinking that this candles were just going to go like crazy, and obviously they did that, but only the wrong way for me. This is where I made my third and final move Thursday morning. Ticker WINT, 15-second chart. I'm pretty happy with my entry here and my exit. The thing that went wrong here, when I went to sell, I filled 0 of my order, and then I had to cancel that order and replace a new order. But anyway, made my entry right here. Boom. Once we broke the high of this bottoming tail red candle here, made my entry, got in at 138. It flashed up to like 142 and then settled in right around break even for a couple candles. We had another flash, but I was really thinking, just based on what the level 2 looked like, that we were going to continue to climb and probably tickle the 150 mark. We had a nice burst here up to about 143, settled again, and then boom, we got to 145. I clicked sell when it hit 145, and that's where I filled 0 of my shares. We settled back down. I tried adjusting the order. I tried just reselling, and I had to go in, cancel my friggin' order, replace and put in a new sell order. And by the time I got done with all that, I had actually was down here, and I was down about 1 cent. So could have been a nice trade. If I would have got filled at like the 143, 144 mark, that would have been 6 or 7 cents worth of profit, which would have been 20 or 30 bucks. Nothing major, but at least I would have had a green trade for the day. But that's just how my morning went.